What's up, guys? This is Bobby Douglas, and we are back again today with another 2020 NBA Draft Prospect full game video breakdown. And remember, we watched the full game to see the prospect's strengths and weaknesses show themselves within the full context of a game instead of just looking at highlights, instead of looking at segmented scouting reports. We like to see the strengths and weaknesses, the pros and cons, unfold as the game progresses. So I think that's really helpful. And again, I'm a big proponent of watching full games for pretty much all draft evaluation. So with that said, today we're looking at Baylor guard Jared Butler. Jared Butler is one of my favorite players in this class because he has a very, very tight handle. I think he's a really good shooter and a good finisher and a creative passer. He is being seen, I've seen him all over the place. I've seen him from late first round to late second round. So he has a very wide range, but probably will go into second round if he stays in the draft. I personally, selfishly, I'll add, I hope he stays at Baylor just because I would love to see him at Baylor another year, and I think Baylor would be my national championship pick if he does decide to stay. However, I have him as a first-round prospect at 29 on my big board, so I totally understand if he leaves, and I would not hold any ill will against him. That's one thing about players for me. I never really fault a player for making the decision to turn pro unless it's not very solid on basketball terms, If it's a 50-50 thing and you're going to get drafted, I'm totally fine with players leaving. So, most of the time I have no issues with players leaving or staying or whatever they want to do. It's their decision, obviously. With that said, though, I hope Jared Butler stays at Baylor just because I really like him as a player. But I do think, regardless of what he does, he'll have a successful basketball career ahead of him. And today we're watching the game against Kansas, and this game really put Baylor and Jared Butler on the map nationally. Baylor was ranked 4th in the country, and they hadn't won on Allen Fieldhouse in the Scott Drew era. And they come out with a win in this game. Butler has 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and a block with 0 turnovers, which I thought was very impressive. And yeah, for the season, he was very solid for Baylor, probably their number 1 scoring option. So I'm excited to get into this game with you guys, and let's get it started. Slide this up. And here we go. So he's going to be number 12 in the charcoal uniforms. I don't know if that's green or gray or black. I think it looks gray-ish. So he's number 12. And again, the thing I love about Jared Butler, he's another one of those guys who always brings a positive attitude, very smart player, really good with his handle, really good at getting by defenders despite not having elite quickness. And so yeah, I am very high on Jared Butler as a prospect. You saw right there, got to the lane, missed that little layup or floater off the rim. Not a particularly efficient shooter. He was 38% from 3 on the year, but he was only 42% from the field. So I'd like to see him improve that if he were to stay, or at least, work on this in the NBA if he does decide to leave. But again, I do like his overall basketball IQ. I think he makes really good passes. He's a fun player to watch because he has that and one style of game to him where he has really good dribble moves, really creative and fun passes, and can knock down tough shots as well. So I think he's a fun player to watch at the college level. I think he'll continue that at the NBA level. So right now he's guarding Ochai Agbaji right now. Good job staying in front right there. He's an adequate defender. I think Baylor was a really good defensive team, and so he was probably the 3rd or 4th best defender in their starting 5, which is saying something because he's not a bad defender by any means. But again, he didn't hurt the team defensively by any stretch. And, Baylor had Davion Mitchell, Freddie Gillespie, Mark Vital. Those are 3 of the top probably 10 defenders in college basketball this past season. And Butler was just another key cog of that. So I don't really think he'll be a standout defender in the NBA, but I think he'll be adequate enough to not lose minutes over his defense. That's for sure. So again, it looks like he's drawing Ochai for the majority of these early possessions here. That time he almost took a half-hearted step towards Dotson on the drive. Didn't really want to get in the way. I get not wanting to leave Ochai, but Dotson pretty much had a free run at the rim. In that situation, I might have just bitten the bullet and stepped in. A little loose with the ball there. Did a good job recovering and getting the open pass off. So then he's still on. Now he's on Marcus Garrett, it looks like. And again, the thing with Butler, too, why I don't think a lot of scouts like him is he's going to nail that. Ooh, he missed a three wide open. Back rim. That's a tough look. But so the thing about Jared Butler that I think scouts will hesitate to draft him due to is because of his tweener play style and positional fit. You know, for Baylor, he's only 6'3", 190, but for Baylor, he did a lot of off-ball work instead of just being a true point guard. He wasn't that. He was more of a combo guard. And usually 6'3", 6'4" combo guards tend to struggle in the NBA, so I can see where teams would be hesitant to draft him. And, you know, he's not a bad point guard, but that just wasn't really his fit at Baylor because they had Davion Mitchell bringing the ball up a lot, Maceo Teague as well. So that's something to look out for as well. So he is a little bit of a tweener in that regard. But I think with a little bit more seasoning, I think he definitely could become a true point in the NBA. Right there, he did a good job cutting off that backdoor. He knew that it looked like a 1-4 from Kansas, and then he just totally walled off the backdoor cut. Ultimately led to a pass out of bounds and a Kansas turnover. So good job from Butler there. We got a foul here, it looks like. I think it's shooting. Yeah. But no, Jared Butler, if he's going to stay at Baylor, so every year I do a, you know, who's my favorite player of the college basketball season. So, for example, this past season, it was Marcus Howard. The year before that, it was Kyle Guy. Jared Butler for this upcoming season would definitely be the preseason favorite for my favorite player of the year. But it all just comes down to if he stays or not. And again, no matter what he does, I'm fine with it. But just selfishly, I want him to stay at Baylor. But basketball-wise, it makes a lot of sense for him to go to the NBA because I do think he can be ready there. I've already had my heart broken once. I was really high on Creighton, and then Tyson Alexander left for the draft. So I don't want to I'm making myself vulnerable here by putting my heart on the line again. So again, now Butler's taking the ball up. So let's see what he does here. Again, it's pretty much switching off between Mitchell and Butler. Both of them are playing both of them can play on or off the ball. But I can see where I think Butler's impact on offense is a little bit more prevalent when he's off the ball than Davion Mitchell. So it might just be a fit thing. So that's why Mitchell might be playing a little bit more on the ball. Not that Jared Butler can't play on the ball. It's just that in Baylor's system, I think Davion Mitchell might be more limited if he were to play off the ball instead of Butler. So I think Butler being a pretty good scorer, again, he averaged around 16 points a game. I think that really makes a difference to have a guy like him off the ball who can shoot the three well, who can create off the dribble. And so I don't read much into that, but I do want to see him run the point a little bit more. Because in the NBA, I do think that's his position. So again, he's off the ball again right now. Mitchell's bringing it up. See what he does here. So again, use that dribble, little hesitation dribble, just prodding and probing when he gets the ball off the curl, and then ultimately kicking it back out to Devontae Bandu, I believe that is. And I don't know what that was for Bandu, but remember how I always use this example because this is like the one that always comes to my mind when I'm talking about undersized two guards. Remember how Malik Monk was used at Kentucky? So they had De'Aaron Fox, and then Malik Monk was a 2, right? But he was only 6'3", 6'4". That isn't the case with Butler. Monk, I don't think, was very capable of being a point guard. He was more of a shooting guard coming out of high school, and so that was his natural position. Jared Butler can be a point guard. So I don't want to get this twisted and say that I am not saying that Jared Butler cannot play point guard. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that in this Baylor, in terms of their roster and their fit, it makes more sense to play him off the ball not because of Butler's limitations, but of Davion Mitchell's limitations. So I just want to get that on the record and clear. But with what the product of not seeing him on the ball a lot is that you don't know if he can do it. I think he can. I think he's shown that he can. But in the NBA, it's a different ballgame. So I want to see him just be a little bit more, and it's not a him thing. It's just I want to see him play point a little bit more. And it's not anything that he can control in college. But I think that's why a lot of NBA scouts are worried about him. That's a good pass from Mitchell. Oh, vital. I hope I did a good job explaining myself on that. So now Butler's on. Isaiah Moss that time did a really good job. Right there, okay, he totally bit on that pump fake from Moss, but he did a really good job moving his feet and recovering. He totally walled off a baseline drive. That should have been an easy basket for Moss. Butler did a really good job recovering there. He's just thinking about it too much. So Butler's back on Agbaji for Kansas. So here we go. So now he's running a little bit more point. So let's see what he does here. Again, he's really good in pick and roll, makes a lot of good reads, tends to force things a little bit, and that contributes to his over 2 turnovers a game. But when he's very thoughtful of his passes. He just forces things. It's almost like he sees things that hurt him sometimes, which I'd rather have that problem than a point guard who doesn't see anything. So right there, he did a good job getting by. I think Dotson was guarding him, but again, he just ran into length. Not a super great finisher at the rim. Again, only a 42% field goal shooter. But again, he's very good at using dribble moves. And that time he got called for a foul, which I don't agree with at all. I think he got all ball there. So Butler goes out here for a little bit. Then I'll skip ahead to 2050 when he comes back in. But yeah, Butler, he sometimes has a tendency to avoid contact. He's really good at getting to the rim, just using the dribble package that he has and the handles that he has. Really good at getting to the rim. Sometimes he just tends to just kind of stay away from contact. Leads to making shots a little bit more difficult for him than they need to be. So again, right there, you saw the handle right into a step back three, and he misses. He has 22 points in this game. I don't think he's scored yet. But again, you saw the fluidity right there. Just a nice between the legs dribble into a three. And it looked good. It just didn't go in. So Butler's running the... Ooh. So again, now with Mitchell out, Butler should be running point. See, that's a really clever and creative finish. And again, just totally used the rim against Udoka Azubuike in the middle. I think that was Azubuike in the middle. Yeah. And again, just a nice little reverse layup. And his strength will help with his finishing. I do think he's a very good finisher at the rim. In, layup situations, it's just really just, finishing through contact is a little bit tougher. But he has nice touch around the basket. That's what he does here. He's going to get a pick and roll, it looks like. Again, that's... So he dribbled himself almost into a turnover there. But again, you just see the kind of the fluidity he has with his handle, just really easily into that spin move. Lost the ball a little bit there, but that's a really good deflection to make up for that. But again, he's just smooth, So we're going to see right here. Or that was vital. That was a different play, but or that was right after the Butler dribbles and stuff. So Butler's on Moss right there, and that's a wide open three for a really good shooter. He kind of got caught around those screens a little bit, or that one pin down screen. So that's on him. But overall, I do like his defensive ability. It's a good pass from Davion Mitchell to Freddie Gillespie. So again, Butler's on Moss again. He's going to follow him through the baseline. So here he goes. Good D right there until he got lost on the screen. That time he really did. That was a basket-saving play. Udoka, or I think that was Silvio De Souza, wide open on the roll right there. Butler used his instincts to just get that ball deflected, ultimately leads to a steal, and then he finishes with a really tough layup for 2 at the other end for Baylor. Really nice overall sequence for Jared Butler right there. I think he got called for a second foul there, which is just, again, he has 2 kind of questionable foul calls, so that's tough for him, but he's going to go out right here. And then he's back in around 8 minutes, so I'll skip ahead to that area of the game. So we got free throws here, it looks like. I'll skip these. Freddie Gillespie's another player on my big board. I think I have him in the 90s. But he's a really interesting story. I think he was at a Division III college in Michigan. I forget the name of it. But then he ended up transferring to Baylor, ended up being a really key defensive anchor for this year's Baylor team. So Butler switched that, and now he's on Dotson. There's Vital with, looks like a, Butler just right place, right time right there. Good job attacking the space. Gillespie missed the turnaround jump shot off the Butler pass. And now he's on Dotson. Again, really good job just walling off the basket right there again. Again, the one thing I do like about Butler is that he makes himself big when being drived on. So you saw right there, his arms are up, right? And again, he's not known as like the quickest guy, but he's very quick, but he's not known as that. You know, that's not one of the things he's really known for. But I think he does a really good job staying in front of players. And again, just making himself big, making himself tough to beat off the dribble, and making himself tough to score on. He's shifty. So right there, really good job, just a little catch and rip. That time he maybe forced a post entry right there. Got the ball back, though. Again, now there's 5 seconds on the shot clock. This is going to be a shot, it looks like. Again, easy rise and fire, pull up 3, Drano. Really nice shot from Butler right there. Got a foul here. Good job to stay in front. He's on Marcus Garrett right now. In terms of Baylor's defensive scheme, they're another one of those no middle teams on defense. So you're going to see a lot of trying to force away from the middle, a lot of icing ball screens, things of that nature. Vanderbilt's a similar team. Texas Tech is obviously a similar team. That's a really, really good, tough, good finish from Butler right there. Again, that time he did finish through contact. and through tight windows, ultimately got the lane. Again, he has really good touch around the rim. That's not my concern. I think his accuracy is really fine. It's just that he sometimes tends to get knocked off his spot through contact. That time he did a really good job contorting his body and then finishing. If he gets an open lane in terms of not getting hit, I think he's a really, really good finisher. It just comes, when you're getting hit, they're not going to call everything. So that's just something to look at as well. But superb touch around the basket. So Butler just switched that, it looked like. Or that was Teague, excuse me. So again, now Butler's just running point. Good kick out. That time Vital needs to do a better job. I think he had Butler open on a kick out for 3, but didn't hit him, and then he ultimately lost the ball out of bounds, but still Baylor ball. Okay, so that play, so right there, I was thinking Teague was Butler for a second, I don't know why. But right there, that's probably on him to tag that slip. Ultimately didn't. Whoa. Jeez. Yeah, Udoka just totally erased that. But that time he just caught a little bit close hugging the sideline, and then he ultimately didn't tag the slip, led to an easy basket. So Butler switched on to Dotson right now. Got turned around a little bit there. Probably could have drawn a charge, actually, but... Good backdoor. Let's see if he finishes. Again, another really tough finish. And again, really nice touch. Got a little 3-on-1 action, and that's an and 1 for Teague. Let's get this free throw. Butler now on Moss. Good job fighting through that screen. And then a good job recovering. Good closeout right there. Really good job. Had to contest basically 2 shots right there. The first one was a fake. He jumped. He still hauled his ass back to Moss, and he got a very solid contest on that shot. Looking at a hook and hold. No. Here we go. Nice shot from Teague. Maybe we got a timeout here. So Butler's top of the key now. He's at, yeah. So they just switched that. So now he's on Dotson. See what he does here. Good steal. Just took advantage of the loose ball right there. Good lead pass to Mitchell, who finishes with the layup. That time he just was opportunistic. Dotson was really loose with his handle. Butler just went in there and grabbed it. Ultimately led to an easy basket for Baylor. He got an injury, I think, so I will skip. Now we're good. Okay. So Butler's on Moss again, and that time another good contest, maybe a little bit too open for my liking, just a little bit too much space for Moss to get that shot off. But overall, he made the effort, got the contest. So again, we got the final 16 seconds of this half. Let's see what Butler's going to do here. Again, really good hesitation move. That time it didn't go his way. It looked like he got blocked. But again, got by his man with ease, just with a little handle hesitation, and bang right to the left. So you can see right there, yep. And then he just goes left Christian Brown. I think that's Christian Brown into dust. And then, but look, Azubuike he fouled Butler. So we're gonna see. Ooh, missed the first free throw. That's tough. Got that one to go. He was I believe, I want to say 78% free throw shooter. 77.5, so basically 78. And that's a pretty good look, actually, but not going to go in. So that's the end of the first half. I'll pause this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Again, Jared Butler is one of my favorite prospects in this draft class, assuming he stays in it. He's seen as a 50-50 guy right now in terms of stay or go. I think it's more 75-25 he stays in the draft. That's just me. But yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps me out. And yeah, we will see you guys right back here for the second half of this game. So thanks, and we'll see you then.